Hello, welcome back to Spider's Web, and it's a road to, and today it's a road to home. I've been to the studio this afternoon with the Sal and Carol and Sylvia, as usually happens on a Saturday. And oops, gets off. Little bit of Robert Palmer starting off in the background there. Yeah, so I've had to call off. In fact, I did one on the way to the studio, but I decided I didn't want to use it. I was on a bit of a rant over things, and some things I said in it probably could be taken the wrong way. And it's all to do with the face-to-face assessment I had yesterday for starting to claim PIP after coming off after the what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, sorry. After they've stopped DLA. And I was just basically reacting and just talking through my thoughts of the situation there. And as I said, I got a little bit too political, I think might be the best way of saying it, and a little too dark, I think, and I don't want my channel to be like that. I know sometimes it's good to talk about things that are on your mind, but so far over the years I've been doing the channel, I've tried to keep it light and fluffy kind of thing, and not get too bogged down with politics and stuff. But I thought what I was doing this morning on the way to the studio was a bit too heavy, but the thing is, I've got through another step. You know, they sent me the forms. Well, I had a letter from them to let me know that they were stopping me DLA and I would have to apply for PIP rather than just transferring me over to PIP. So I had to phone them up to give them my new address anyway. So I got them to send me the form out that I had to fill in. The first one didn't arrive, so I had to phone them back to let them know that I hadn't got one, as it was getting near to the date it should have been back. So they sent me another one out, which I filled in, sent it back. They called for me for these face-to-face assessments, which I did yesterday. I talked about this on Wednesday. One thing I didn't realise, which I only found out yesterday, when I was talking on Wednesday, I said that these aren't health professionals who are doing it. In fact, apparently they are. According to the posters of things they had up in the building where I was, they're actually health professionals that are doing these assessments. The thing is, they are, what's the word I'm looking for? They are tied to the questions they ask. They basically go through the form that you've filled in and they ask you the questions. And I think they just try to I think it's a way of catching you out, going through the questions and seeing if what you've wrote down is what's actually happening, or see if they can catch out on telling porkies kind of thing. Some of the questions are stupid they ask, and they're not easy to answer. Because at one point they asked me how long can I walk before I need a rest, and you know how. And I'm actually meaning this in time, minutes. You know, so what would you say, 1 minute, 2 minutes, or what? And I actually said to him, do you time yourself when you're walking? you're just walking from point A to point B to get somewhere, do you actually time how long it takes you? But it's the questions that you get asked. But I mean, the woman was nice. She was understanding of the fact that I was uncomfortable all the way through it. And, I mean, physically uncomfortable as well as emotionally and mentally uncomfortable. I don't like being in situations like that. And he actually told me that 2:30 I was contemplating asking Ali to phone and let him know that I can't make it because I was struggling breathing at the time, and I was actually literally parking the car outside the building, because that is actually where I parked, directly outside the doors, and I was thinking of cancelling it then because I really struggling to breathe, and I had my inhaler before I got out of the car, and I was still struggling a bit later, and I had it again just before I got called in. So stress was building up that way, and I just not really. I get stressed out with these, and it does get to me. What you call it? Having to go through all this kind of thing. But I know it's got to be done. I understand why it's got to be done. I just don't like having to go through it, and I don't think anybody who is genuine likes having to go through it because of all the bad press that the people who are doing these assessments have had, and the bad press that is going on in regards to the changeover to PIP and people taking their own life when it gets refused. I mentioned it briefly on Wednesday in the last Road 2, and I'm just touching on it again. I'm not dwelling on it like I did earlier. There's a right way and a wrong way of doing things, and taking too much away from people at the moment and not giving people the benefit, I wouldn't say the benefit of the doubt, but they're not allowing for people having good days, because it's turning out that if you've got your few good days and you can do things on certain days, then to me sometimes I'm giving my opinions again, and I don't know whether it's right what I'm saying, but it may be that people have said or done the wrong thing at these interviews or assessments, and that's the reason they've been knocked off, because they can do certain things a few times and not actually every day. But I think because you can do it one day, you can do it all the time, and if you can make yourself a cup of tea, you're fit for work. But you may not be able to make yourself a cup of tea every day. So I don't know, you hear certain stories going along that that's how it works, whether it's accurate or whether it's just scaremongering, I don't know, but what I do know is that because of the way people are being treated, the ones who are desperate for help are the ones who are not getting the help, and because of this they've got to the stage where they've got down to that dark place and have taken their own life. And for anybody who may have watched or who may be watching this who have gone through that, my thoughts are with you, my prayers are with you. Well, not necessarily who've gone through it, who have loved ones who have got to that stage and acted upon it. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Nobody should be put in a situation where they think that is the only way out. And you know, as I mentioned, we was talking about this at the studio, and I said, look, you know, people have taken their own life because of these, because of this current way of doing things, where you have to prove how bad you were in this, that and the other. And yet, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people have got to that stage with the DWP and the government the way they are. But yet, one person who's featured on a TV programme, not naming any names, has taken their life, and they've cancelled that series. You know, I can't understand how it's okay for one organisation to be responsible for the death of hundreds of people and it be acceptable, or tolerable rather than acceptable, and yet one person has got to that stage and acted upon it, and there's an uproar, and that particular TV series has been ended. Yeah, okay, Jeremy Kyle. It wasn't a programme that I particularly have any fondness for. I thought it was TV for the feeble-minded. Anybody who enjoys Jeremy Kyle, I'm sorry, but that's the way I see it. It's pointless TV, there's no need for it. But saying all that, I am in defence of it in this respect, to a point that one person who has appeared on Jeremy Kyle committed suicide a few months ago, and the series was taken off her. And yet the DWP and the government are responsible for the deaths of hundreds of people because of these benefits changes and things like that, and all the stress and everything that you go through having to what's the word I'm looking for, having to go through the claiming process, and then to be refused the help that the need. You know, week after week after week you hear of people who have taken their own life because of it, and people who have, I heard one case where somebody had actually had an heart attack and had been taken into another room and left. You know, that's another story I've heard. Whether these are true, or whether it's what's the word I'm looking for? Media hype, I don't know. But when you hear these stories and it's affecting, you know, and it's more, you know, it's many people who have been affected, and they're still allowed to do it, but yet one TV programme gets cancelled and vilified because one person took their own life after being on it. You know what I mean? Anyway, I didn't want to get too deep into this, but I've done it, and it's not as deep as it was before. It's not as political as I was before, but yeah, I'm home anyway. So that's the end of the video. I didn't want to carry on like, I didn't want to, as I say, do a video like this, but it's got to that stage, so I wanted to talk about it. All I have to do now, after going through the face-to-face consultation, all I have to do now is wait and see what the decision is, and then act upon it accordingly. If I've got it, I've got it. If not, then appeals have to be made, and I have to go through all the crap and see whether I can get the decision overturned, and then I can keep my car and I can survive. Who knows? but time will tell. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Probably not. But I'm going to put this one up. You'll have noticed I put this one up. I decided not to put the other one up because I was getting too dark with it, but I've touched on the darkness that I had earlier, but not going into it as I just got onto a rant earlier, and it didn't make for good. It didn't make for a good video, I don't think. So that's why I've stopped. That's why I deleted it off my phone. But yeah, I'm keeping this one, as you've seen. But that's it for this one. Yeah, I'm going to finish as I usually do. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.